Is China in the 2020s like the US in 1929? During the 1929 crisis, the US was on the gold standard. This meant the currency was backed by gold. Printing money required gold reserves. The US was also the world's net creditor, a country lending to others and running a current account surplus. So why was the USA net creditor? After World War I, Europe was heavily indebted while the US ran massive trade surpluses. European countries borrowed from the US, and capital flowed into America. During the Great Depression, central banks couldn't print money or cut interest rates due to the gold standard. So they stood by with their hands tied as the recession deepened. The US had accumulated a large portion of the world's gold reserves, while other countries lost gold and their currencies weakened. The dollar strengthened. But the downside was, the US couldn't attract foreign demand, i.e., external demand-driven growth was unlikely. As a result, the US had to boost domestic spending, investment, and employment, because there was no supportive global demand environment. That's why President Franklin D. Roosevelt, FDR, launched large-scale public investment, social support, and infrastructure projects known as the New Deal. It was done to create aggregate demand, to make people spend and get the economy moving again. In other words, the US had to generate its own demand. If no one is spending, then I will spend, as the state. So, can we say China today is in a similar position? Not quite, and here are a few reasons why. The yuan is not a reserve currency. It makes up just approximately 3% of global reserves. Domestic demand is fragile. Households prefer saving over spending, and consumer confidence is weak. Capital flows are not fully liberalized. Foreign investors can't easily invest in China. There are shortcomings in legal protection and financial transparency. Unlike the US, China cannot act as a global, safe haven in times of crisis. The lesson from history is clear. If China, in the coming years, increases people's disposable income via higher wages or social support, boosts investment through public projects, infrastructure, urban redevelopment, encourages consumption via tax cuts or housing support, then domestic demand may rise, production may rebound, unemployment may fall, and economic growth could be driven by internal dynamics, reducing dependency on external factors. Depending on how Trump shapes the US economy and the probability of a recession, I may reassess China's trajectory